Hello there. Hi everybody. It's me, Hazer, back once again, headphoneless today. A little spot on my face, don't I? Oh, there it is. Mirrored viewing is weird for me. But anyway, what's going on? I'm a little bit off topic here. I'm just going to be doing a little chat around what I expect to happen in the SPL this weekend. We have our first mid-season games, our bootsless games, toes out for the fans by all the SPL teams. I'm sure we're all very excited for that. But yeah, gonna give a little chat. I guess I'll have a quick chat. I still don't really, I haven't played that much. I've maybe played 10 ranked games or so and watched a bit as well. But I wouldn't say that I have a good idea of what's gonna happen, honestly. I've had some chats with some good players as well and seen how they were feeling, and I'll just kind of lay that out just now. I guess we could go role by role. I mean, starts, I don't know if starts will change. The support buff spawns at the start of the game now, right? So that could make a difference. It could mean that we see a little bit more of the jungler starting on red and clearing the backs and that camp before going over to speed, and the solo laner still soloing blue, and then the purple takes a little bit longer to do now for the support because it's a bit tankier. So maybe we'll see a change up in terms of that start being more common than it was already. It was already pretty common seeing the jungler start on red and rotate around that way. I'm really not sure. I don't know if that makes a difference. I think we're going to see junglers doing a lot of jungling. There's a lot of camps for them to clear right now. Those camps on the solo side of the map probably not going to get cleared out by the solo laners that often, I don't think. They'll probably be putting more focus onto the totem and making sure they get their full waves and they get pressure and they get good backs over just farming that one harpy. So that might be a bit of farm that junglers can go for, which leaves the mid laner to free farm a bit more. So it's I think jungle pathing is going to be something that we're going to have to keep an eye on and see how things go. But I don't see huge switch ups in the starts coming through. I think build wise, I think support builds are probably going to be the ones that have the biggest impact on how the game changes, I suppose. Support builds and support gods. Because of tank boots being gone, it just makes them so much more vulnerable. Pen comes online earlier, but dedicated pro items come online earlier. I think we'll probably see a lot of Thieves Rush, in all honesty, which isn't the most interesting thing in the world, but it's, I think, what we'll see, except into sort of quadruple fizz, maybe triple magical comps. You could see a switch up there, and maybe see either maybe an early solve, maybe an early bulwark to certain things if you need some CCR, if you're against an Athena or something like that. Who knows? But enough of my bulwark agenda. Yeah, support's going to be interesting. ADC wise, I think we could see the picks switch up a bit. I've heard some good things about Artemis. I think Barra was saying it. I don't know if you all saw the mid-season check-in. If you didn't, I haven't seen much chat about it, so maybe a lot of people missed it. I'll probably drop a link to it if I remember in the description, although this is a bit of a last-minute recording, so we will see about that. Probably no thumbnail for this either. But anyway, I think Artemis could be in the I think we could see some more magical ADCs if people want to play Fizz supports. I think magical ADCs could well be around Freya. Got, I think, some mana usage buffs possibly on her skills, and also being able to skip boots I think is pretty nice for Freya. She can get maybe a hastened in that slot. You can start ring 2. I'm basically just stealing other people's ideas here, but that's what I do. That's what being an analyst is, kind of. Yeah, I think we could see that. We could see a bit of Artemis. She's in a decent spot right now if she's safe enough. That could definitely be the thing. I mean, it's jungler. It's not the ADC 1v1 that generally puts her in a bad spot. I think it's generally junglers and supports being around Joe's side that makes Artemis struggle. So we'll see if that continues to be the case. I mean, when you've got these hyper safe ADCs like Haim, for example, and then Jingwei as well, very, very safe. And even Danzaburo, Panda Cat's making Danza look very safe, although did get kind of found out a little bit by the Scarabs. The Scarabs, I thought, were the best team at punishing Danza that we've seen so far against the Dragons. Anyway, it was great to watch. I watched that back. I didn't actually watch that on Sunday. I was watching the Euros instead, but, well, I was half watching. But anyway, half watching the Smite, I mean. But I watched it back this week, and yeah, congrats to them. That was a really impressive performance. Back to mid-season. Mid lane, Warlocks could be a thing. Could be a thing on these magical ADCs as well. I think Warlocks has finally found the spot in the meta where it might be decent. I mean, Paul was already going Chronos with Warlocks in mid, I think, earlier in the season. I expect that to continue. I could see Warlocks being built on a few different characters. Maybe like you could see a build that's Warlocks, Coin, Deso, and then you could go into like Reaver or Rod or Soul Gem, depending on what you're playing. Although I think Soul Gem took a nerf, which makes it a little bit less must-buy. But yeah, I think mid, I don't think the gods changed that much. I mean, the Raijin nerf was just nothing. Sol, I think, doesn't maybe even become stronger in this meta. I think she's pretty good. I think I expect to see a lot of Raijin and Sol. Yanis, still quite a lot as well. He has a lot of items that he wants to build. Although he is losing Mirrodin, the old Mirrodin. He's got new Mirrodin to deal with if he wants to build it, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen too much of that item so far, honestly. I think it has, the nerfs have maybe taken it a bit too far in the other direction, but we shall see. Jungle-wise, jungle, I don't know. Could see like a decent amount of gods like auto attacks. I think Kali got some pretty decent buffs and is in a good spot. I think Daji has been buffed again. Don't know why. She's in a good spot. I think Serated's a great item right now. The interesting thing with junglers is what they're going to build to start off with. Stonecutting would have been a no-brainer previously before it got nerfed in the bonus balance for mid-season, or the sort of tacked-on balance for mid-season, post-PTS balance, whatever we're calling that. But I don't know if it's... I think it's still going to get picked up, to be honest. I think Stonecutting's still just really strong for those early-game trades. But we shall see. We could even see some Golden Blade. I'm not sure that we will, but we could. Maybe a Bakasura or something like that. All right, and we could see a decent amount of Transcendence, I think, as a first item. A lot of junglers who I've spoken to have said that Heavy Mace feels really bad right now. It feels like a really weak tier 2, so I'm not sure if we'll see people going straight in to the pen build, but who knows? We shall see. Could still definitely be strong going on Mace straight away. I think another thing worth knowing is we'll see a decent amount of brawlers. I don't expect to see that much healing. I feel like it's much easier to fit anti-heal in your build right now with being able to not go boots. You just have an extra slot earlier on to go a diviner or a brawlers, which is going to be good against the anti-heal, but we shall see. Solo lane. Solo lane. Still stand by what I said, where I expect to see some Vamp Shroud Guardians there. Could see some Baron. Could well see some Baron. He's gotten some decent buffs and is pretty cozy over in that lane. Other magicals I expect to see. I think Cerberus. I think there will be a Cerberus resurgence somewhere. I wonder, by the way, if we'll see Vamp Shroud in mid, depending on what you're up against. It might, I mean, for example, if Zeros is going Neath mid, and then there's maybe a physical jungler in for the Valkyries for Johnny. I wonder if we'll see some Vamp Shroud in mid for any mid laners there. But yeah, Raijin solo, people are always talking about it. People are always saying, extolling the virtues of Raijin solo, but they never whip it out. I'm looking at you, Nika, you coward. Pick it. Pick it. I want him to pick it. We'll see if he does it. I don't know. I'm not confident in which solo lane picks are going to be, and I also think we'll still see Osiris, we'll still see Herc, we'll probably still see Arthur after the performances Arthur had last weekend. I think it was Haddix and Nika both picked in, both looked really good, even after the nerfs that Arthur got in the patch prior to mid-season. But yeah, I don't know. That was my kind of rambly take on the meta that I'm expected to see this weekend. The long and short of it is, I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody, I think, well, I mean, the pro players presumably have a decent idea of what's going to happen, but I don't think there will be a settled meta yet, even in scrims. It takes more than, you know, thankfully, well done Hi-Res, by the way, or skill, what are they called? Titanforge. Is it Titanforge? Well done Titanforge. I think it's Titanforge. For a good week of first week of a big patch. It was... The servers have been stable. The game's been up most of the time. We've not had the normal resets we do, which has been a refreshing change. So scrims, I think there will have been a decent amount of scrims between Tuesday and Friday, but still, that's only 3 days. That's only 3 days of scrimming on this new patch. Perhaps there were some scrims before that where they were buying the pot and testing things out, but you never really, it is different. Because then you don't need, if you do that, you don't have the scaling movement speed that you get with levels. You just start with the 18% rather than scaling up to it over the first 7 levels of the game. But yeah, I think this will be a clash. There will be a bit of a clashing of styles between some teams, a clashing of metas. We'll see the meta develop probably over the next 2 to 3 weeks. This weekend will be our base point, and things will evolve. And by week 3, we'll probably see teams having settled down a little bit more into a similar style or a similar meta, a sort of consensus between the pro teams on what is good and what's working and what's not. So it's going to be fun to watch that progress. It's always cool to see some of the best minds in Smite come up with ideas on how a shift affects the game. It's fun. Let's go into predictions. Let's do our predictions. Oh, I got it. There we go. It worked. That's good. Can I scroll this in a bit for you all? So these are the games we've got this week. We're starting on Friday, the 16th of July. Tomorrow is Thursday today. And we're starting with a bit of a bumper matchup. Jade Dragons versus Atlantis Leviathans. Really interesting one. Jade Dragons just coming off of a loss up against the Scarabs. Leviathans feel like they're not at the top of their game right now. They're not on top form. So I think this is it's a good time for either to play the other, and either could use this to sort of springboard. I'm going to give this one to the Atlantis Leviathans 2-1. I think they take the Dragons down 2-1. We'll see how it goes. I'm really interested to see what PBM and co do. I think Leviathans are pretty good at just picking up what other teams are doing in scrims and doing it better. Honestly, I don't know how creative they are. I don't feel like they come up with crazy strats that much, and crazy new things. They just do what everybody's doing, but they do it really, really well, I think. So we'll see how that goes. But that's my prediction for that one. Bolts versus Kings. Kings probably my favorite team to watch explore in new meta, just on players alone, genetics, twig, variety even. I think they're great to watch, and I think they're really great minds, Gen X and Twig especially. So we'll see what they've come up with. I'm gonna, just off the back of it being a new meta, they do grind. The Bolts do grind though, and the Bolts do be thinkers as well. I think the Kings are slightly better thinkers. I'm gonna give this to the Kings 2-1. 2-1 to the away team, both games on Friday. Saturday, Bolts versus Titans. Bolts take this one from me 2-0. Bolts come back after a loss. Angry. Titans, I don't know. I still feel like they're not quite there yet. They just don't seem to click in their core especially. They don't seem to be on the same page. They're good if they get to the late game, but until that point, they kind of look like a team of ranked players. They don't seem to have plans, which is not good. Quite frankly, at this stage in the season. Leviathans versus Warriors. Still think the Warriors are going to be struggling. I do like this team ideas-wise. But right now, I think they're still going to be... I think they're a team... I talk about all the time with the Valks, but I think the Warriors as well. I think Cuvo and Dardes probably would be enjoying the game and putting more time into the game if they were playing on level footing. I think Neil probably grinds either way, but I'm going to give this one to the Leviathans 2-0. And then Sunday, Jade Dragons versus Valhalla Valkyries. Till the Valhalla Valkyries change my mind, they're always losing 2-0 to the Jade Dragons. I don't know. I think it's too high. I've said it to death, but they're just getting owned. They're getting owned mentally by the ping, and they're getting owned on the battleground of the gods by the ping. Sunday, Scarabs versus Kings. I'm going to say the Scarabs come in with some good pick and bans for this, but they still go down 2-1 in a close set. and a close set. I think this could be a good set. I mean, the Scarabs recently, last time these two teams played was in the qualifiers for the last qualifier game for the playoffs, and the Scarabs took them down. But this time I'm going to give it to the Kings 2-1. I think they went 2-1. Scarabs are really starting to impress me, though. They're looking better and better. SOT in the solo lane, Layers in the jungle in particular, those two guys looking fantastic. Baronic found consistency, found a better god pull. So yeah, right. I think that's it, chat. Let me know, chat, YouTube chat, YouTube chatters, YouTube commenters, YouTube viewers. Appreciate you all taking the time to watch. I'll be live tomorrow with the SPL. Looking forward to it. I hope you are too. 6 p.m. UK time. You can do your own translations. Now you know what I'll do it for you. 1 Eastern, 7 p.m. Central European time, and 12, I think 10 a.m. Pacific time. The Pacific time one, you know, I'm winging it, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, hope you're having a great week. I'm looking forward to the games tomorrow. Hope you are too. Hope you've been enjoying the Boots patch. Leave a comment down below what you think's gonna happen. Leave a comment down below with what you think's gonna happen. You made it to the end of the video. Make sure to leave a comment down below with what you think's gonna happen in the mid-season SPL matches. Sorry, I'm losing my mind. I'm gonna go to the pub. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye.